And this is what I do know for sure. When something this major happens, when you have the fallout, 50 women coming forward, that it's a watershed.
Following a startling FBI revelation that connected Oprah Winfrey to Diddy's continuing legal issues, Hollywood is in disbelief given her enormous power and influence. Winfrey has long been considered an untouchable icon, thus this revelation calls into doubt her perverse influence over Diddy's alleged traffic and exploitation. She now seems to be connected to Diddy's alleged trafficking and exploitation rumors that Oprah is not who she appears to be, and that there is something evil hiding beneath. Her sweet facade have been around for years. To find out why some people believe Oprah is in who she appears, let's look into this further. It is important to consider a few important criteria long before any serious allegations surfaced. She was accused of being a bully who doesn't completely live up to her public appearance of kindness. One incident that reignited this conversation was an interview with the Olsen twins that came to light and revealed Oprah's invasive and heartless demeanor. Many viewers felt uneasy when Oprah pressed the twins, who were just adolescents at the time, on sensitive topics like their body image. People will, in fact, write what they want to write. We try not to read the good or the bad, because it just kind of comes with the territory. You know, either you're too fat or you're too skinny, press, etc. One of the twins said, perhaps trying to brush the criticism off. Anyone may write anything they wish. This was a significant event, since during that year Mary-Kate Olsen sought treatment for an eating disorder. Oprah's laughter seemed tone deaf and out of touch from the fear on both sisters' expressions throughout the conversation. Famous for her direct comments, actress Monique has accused Oprah Winfrey and Tyler Perry of keeping her out of the entertainment industry. Her claims have gained traction, especially when Perry came clean and said that he ensured she wasn't selected for several projects. Even further, and Monique said that Oprah had been pilfering opportunities that were first given to her, but a turning point in their relationship occurred when the talk show presenter invited Monique's family, including her brother, who had sexually attacked her, onto her program without first talking to her. I had to tell Oprah how I really felt, since Monique was taken by surprise and duped when she learned of this agreement just before the episode aired. If Monique were watching, she would say to Oprah, "Oprah, you know what you need to do. Stop hiding behind what you call negative comments, and you keep saying, oh, I don't even deal with things like that, but people are beginning to see you for who you really are. Let them know what you said." Monique quickly clarified her stance, stating that this is the reason I have a problem with her, and that it will be with me for the rest of my life until she issues a public apology. There are some females in the Hollywood business who are very worried about it. It seemed like you were taking advantage of me when Oprah claimed that you had a nefarious scheme to have my parents on your program without disclosing to me that it was for ratings. I do think you did something wrong. A closer examination of their relationships shows a deeper complexity, despite the fact that many actresses have courageously come out against the pervasive issue of sexual assault in the profession. That evening, Regina King and Angela Bassett were there, but a darker link that linked them all to the infamous Harvey Weinstein lurked under the friendship. For example, despite the gravity of the incident, many have questioned Angela Bassett's silence on Weinstein's activities throughout their working relationship. In spite of this, Bassett has received recognition for her stirring Oscar speeches that highlight the difficulties women encounter when sexual abuse occurs. But instead of mentioning Weinstein by name, she framed her comments in a broader context, characterizing the circumstance as a weighted occasion. A major turning point in the business has been marked by the impact from the claims against Weinstein, particularly with over 50 women coming forward. Many Hollywood women are now dealing with a flood of long-buried, suppressed emotions, grief, shame, and suffering. This is not simply a personal problem, it's a social awakening. She saw a number of women who had been working continuously for days on the set. Only the other day, they were very exhausted. And as she engaged with them, it became clear that they were experiencing PTSD-like symptoms. Everyone has a story, she said, adding that if we limit the conversation to Harvey Weinstein alone, we run the danger of missing the main points of what's going on. Many women have approached their work with a disease to PLE mentality, thinking that they must smile in spite of their suffering if they want to keep their jobs or advance in their roles, ignore insulting comments and unwanted advances. Days after Oprah formally supported the victims in the wake of the Harvey Weinstein allegations, Seal sent a contentious Instagram statement that encapsulated the growing criticism of Winfrey's past, quote, connections with an image of Oprah embracing Weinstein. Seal shared a meme that said, "When you've been contributing to the problem for decades and all of a sudden they think you're the solution." Everyone's attention was drawn to this tragedy, since it presented the notion that Oprah, who is often seen as a champion for the oppressed, is likewise linked to the issues. She claims to address "thank you" for Seal's comment, which continued to highlight Oprah's prior connection to Weinstein. Seal: "Oh, I forgot, that's right, you heard the rumors, but you had no idea. He was actually serially assaulting young star-eyed actresses." The 54-year-old, who has been on Oprah's show, made a joke highlighting how ironic their relationship is. "It was my era Rose McCain, an actress, who was one of the first to criticize Harvey Weinstein, has now turned her attention to Oprah Winfrey and accused her of abandoning victims of sexual assault. When Mon referred to Oprah as the most fake person on the planet, he didn't hold back. In a harsh tweet, Rose attacked Oprah for her past connections to contentious figures. To provide some context, she wrote of assisting a corrupt power structure for her own gain, which is as untrue as they come. She abandoned and harmed Russell Simmons' victims after having a friendship with Harvey Weinstein. Music producer Russell Simmons was accused of rape by at least 15 women. Maria Tolman remembers this not true. Oprah withdrew from a documentary that attempted to elucidate these allegations because she apparently disagreed with the filmmakers over her prior affiliation with Harvey Weinstein. To refresh your memory, Oprah has said that she was unaware of the allegations of sexual assault against him. Although she was aware that he was known for being a bully, she was unaware of the extent of his actions, given that Diddy's old friend Kevin Hart has tight ties to both Oprah and Tyler Perry. It is clear that this group has a wide range of contacts. Hart went so far as to say that Oprah loves him more than anybody else. Art even appeared in the popular video where Diddy ridiculed the singer's argument with him over Frosted Flakes. One thing that really stands out to me is the Justin Bieber incident. Do you remember the Kevin Hart video? The fact that Hart says he wakes up next to Bieber and then abruptly shifts the subject to claiming that they're just arguing over Frosted Flakes makes it a bit unsettling. The idea of him admitting to sleeping in the same bed as someone so much younger is unsettling, and it irritates me when tales like this are laughed off when they need careful thought. As Kevin Hart reflected on his long-standing friendship with Diddy, the mood was lighthearted and playful. He joked that Diddy looked like he had just stepped off a plane straight from the guard stage, which is my brother right there. He was thinking back on their past, saying that we go all the way back to when he was only 10 years old and I was a little older, and we would literally fight over the Frosted Flakes. Back then, we didn't even have the term pause. As they continued to joke around, Kevin laughed at the memory of how they used to fight for Cal in the mornings, and he would get up early to get to them first. Now look at him, he's one of the richest men in the world. But really, what just came out of Puff's mouth when he said we used to wrestle over Frosted Flakes while we're streaming live was just absurd. Kevin also pointed out that Diddy's latest issues came at an odd time. He acknowledged the rumors for those who are unaware, saying, "Diddy, did you notice that I closed all of my restaurants just days before he got arrested?" People are raising eyebrows about that. BBD podcast has delved deeply into the shocking revelations surrounding Diddy's recent arrest, discussing tapes that may hold incriminating evidence of his involvement in serious criminal activities. As federal investigations ramp up, I recently closed all 4 of my vegan restaurants in California after just 2 years, and they were doing great even with Kim Kardashian tweeting about how amazing my meatless burgers were. According to insiders, these recordings may incriminate Diddy and other well-known people, which would cause serious concern in Hollywood by hinting that these records have the ability to completely upend the music and entertainment sectors. The podcast highlights how serious the issue is. There are those in the business who are curious about the extent of this misbehavior and who else may be revealed as the story unfolds. Listeners are left wondering whether these disclosures will bring down more prominent Hollywood players. A new lawsuit is set to unveil a list of Diddy's suspected collaborators. The victim's lawyer, Tony Busby, has made startling claims that names would be revealed in the next lawsuit. He assured everyone that the list will be shocking when the other names were disclosed. In addition to Sean Combs emphasizing that a lot of individuals are involved, the lawsuit contains incidents from 1991 that involve allegations of sexual abuse, according to Busby, who also disclosed that the allegations are part of a larger scandal involving over 120 accusers, both male and female, who have come forward with claims of physical misconduct, trafficking, and manipulation that spans several decades. Some of the youngest victims in the Diddy case were only 9 years old. Minors were reportedly mistreated at events like as Bad Boy Records auditions, where they were given song deals in return for their quiet, one of the lawyers acknowledged that the ages of the victims at the time of the crimes were alarming, adding, "We now represent 120 individuals who are preparing to file civil claims against C." The public is appalled by this startling disclosure, which has also sparked grave worries about the unbridled influence Diddy and his partners have had on the business. Lisa EOS. It's important to keep in mind that the other victims were 14 and 15 years old, and the youngest victim at the time of the behavior was just 9 in actuality. 25 out of the 120 claimants were minors when the claimed actions occurred, and the incidences occurred between 1991 and 2020. For the startling number of victims that have been reported might be related to almost 25 years of misconduct, during which time Oprah Winfrey's significant influence in Hollywood has impacted a great number of individuals, because Oprah doesn't want anybody to find themselves on the wrong side of such a prominent person in Hollywood. This widespread fear has led to a culture of silence surrounding her, with few people willing to speak out and many canceling interviews to avoid the chance of being blacklisted. She has the power to build or ruin careers, according to several insiders, and her influence extends far beyond her well-known talk show. Steve Harvey and Tyler Perry are in the same boat. Rumors about Oprah's role in the company are starting to circulate, as Diddy is the subject of more scrutiny. Her power has mostly protected her from severe legal consequences, even in spite of years of circulating allegations. In another relevant circumstance, a self-proclaimed spiritual healer known for his ability to speak with the spirits of doctors and saints operated on patients using only his bare hands and scissors. As John of God, he aided in a scheme to sell newborns to childless couples for $50,000 while posing as a spiritual healer for numerous celebrities. He also abused his own family, including his daughter and granddaughter, and hundreds of girls and women between the ages of 9 and 67. Hollywood has always been a haven for scandals and exploitation, often involving some of its most famous figures. Diddy's case is just the latest in a long line of accusations against powerful individuals who are accused of abusing their position to control and exploit others. In the center of Hollywood, it is important to exercise caution when a group returns from the glamorous scene. They report wanting a shocking revelation. They said, "We saw so a huge name and another big name behaving inappropriately at a party." In response to a question about details, "What do you mean by chicken hawking?" one individual inquired, "And he's white, but he doesn't know what that means in this situation," the other said, laughing. Hawking spoke about older adults inappropriately chasing young boys and transvestites on his podcast in his discussion of Oprah's immense power in the industry. Joe Rogan hinted that she has the capacity to change perceptions and quiet detractors. Despite the lack of hard evidence, there have been speculations that she could have been engaged in some of Diddy's alleged misdeeds. These claims point to a wider network of influential individuals who might have misused their position for personal gain. Federal investigators have connected Oprah Winfrey to allegations of human trafficking in the Diddy case, in what seems to be a desperate attempt to escape accountability. Oprah reportedly attempted to overdose. Oprah is presently in the hospital, according to an update made by her close friend Gayle King. Many people think this is an effort to dodge the severe allegations that are pending against her. Oprah's public relations team is putting in a lot of effort to argue that Oprah's hospitalization was caused by side effects from the weight loss medication OIC, but there have been alarming accusations that Oprah was engaged in the harvesting of youngsters in Hawaii for their purported anti-aging qualities. With Diddy already facing legal ramifications, there are rising fears that Oprah would leave the hospital with a condition that would permanently silence her regarding the claims that she trafficked children from her African school and exploited youngsters in Hawaii for wealthy elites. The fact that many kid victims are singled out by a predator they know, someone they may even love, respect, or admire, is a sad truth. It usually takes a person in their trusted circle for such abuse to take place. Some people are curious as to whether the long-standing charges against Oprah will eventually surface. Many people believe this was absurd when it was initially brought to light years ago, preferring, for instance, the more overt image of sexual assault being brutally hurled against a wall. This individual has maintained for years that if an abuser is skillful, their acts may go undetected, and the victim may get involved in the scenario without even recognizing it, feeling as if they are participating. However, the reality is far more nuanced. Rumors of individuals endorsing or protecting some of the worst practices in the business have been going about for years, despite denials of any misconduct, even while phrases like Sexual abuse aren't often used explicitly. There is an implicit suggestion that something improper is occurring in a Linkett. The event John Samuel moved swiftly to have Tiny Moa removed from the school after learning of the charges against him. Many folks were left feeling severely shocked by the sad news. One individual called Dr. Bruce Perry, the creator of the Child Trauma Academy in Houston, Texas, within an hour of hearing about the case, more well-known people might be involved in the scandal, according to a lawyer in the Diddy case. But Dr. Perry underlined that U.S. law mandates that Child Protective Services be notified of any suspect of child abuse. He was motivated to do so after advising that it would be wise to find out whether such legislation are in place in South Africa. They keep their identities a secret. This news has shocked Hollywood, since many people are afraid that revealing these individuals might have a devastating impact on the industry and that there will inevitably be some dishonest remarks and distractions from those with evil motives. The team's primary objective is to identify and assess individuals with credible real-life claims. This is not a new issue. They now represent around 120 individuals from 25 different states who have all made accusations of misconduct over a 25-year period. There is another more worrisome aspect among those involved. It was common knowledge that people were paid to attend private parties and were flown in. Many received invitations to these gatherings after being approached at clubs, concerts, or even on the street. Young aspiring entertainers who want to make a name for themselves in the industry are often lured in with promises of stardom's attorney has described the data as extremely incriminating, suggesting that its release might ruin reputations and careers. The topic of their sex life often comes up while discussing an open relationship, which implies an active sexual connection dynamic. This agreement between Will Smith and Jada Pinkett Smith has been confirmed by many sources. See, even though Jamie Foxx's case seems distinct, there is interest in his participation and pertinent information was being sought. He excitedly shared what he had discovered, asking, "If you could get that up for me before I show you, I would want to know who this is from." In an open admission of this, Jada has said that they had threesomes with a number of celebrities, some of whom are even included in her book Oprah Winfrey School in Africa was once praised as a pioneering educational initiative, but it has since been involved in many controversies, including allegations of mistreatment and misbehavior. Oprah personally selected the students, raising concerns about her level of oversight and the troubling incidents that have transpired since the school's establishment. Being a girl usually means being viewed as a second-class citizen in many regions of Africa. As she put it, "I'm going to travel village, oh village, oh village." Personally, with a team to pull young girls out of their homes, girls who would never have dreamed of getting an education. Oprah Winfrey had a bold and intimate vision for girls' education in South Africa. Oprah aimed to change that by providing these young women with the chance to enroll in her school and become future leaders of Africa. When asked whether she came up with the idea on her own or if she was copying it from other successful programs, she said firmly, "I'm building this girls' academy one brick at a time. I consider education to be a kind of emancipation since it saved my life, and I contribute by using it to assist others." Oprah said that while her foundation provides funding for many initiatives, education is always her first PRI priority. She said, "I try to use whatever resources I have to educate people." One listener said, "I can't believe you're this serious." Her passion for her purpose left her audience stunned. "God bless you for doing that. Thank you for being so dedicated." This new endeavor was not without controversy either, since Diddy's arrest exposed the behavior of influential people in the entertainment sector. It is said that Diddy's arrest played a perfect game of wolf and Kaiser on the cat's back. The Academy has been accused of having more sinister intentions, but it is reminiscent to Oprah Winfrey's 2007 project, in which she opened a boarding school in South Africa with gyms and salons. The young women who were selected for the school purely on the basis of their physical attributes were allegedly being prepared for adverse circumstances when allegations emerged against the employee, who was charged with many misbehavior investigations. Authorities took note, suggesting that some of the girls could have been singled out in a way that was quite alarming, but in a commission reviewing operations, reporting on things from Exercise 11 that had otherwise been classified as basic. Concerns about how these girls were being treated soon surfaced, with Allegations that one of the staff members had acted inappropriately, perhaps setting them up for future victimization. Despite Oprah's public pledge to address these issues, the employee was found not guilty after an internal inquiry. This suggested that there could have been attempts to conceal the alarming incidents. The unfortunate discovery of a newborn baby found comatose on the school's property increased the commotion around the establishment and stoked more claims of unethical behavior related to it. With his clever repartee, comedian Trevor Noah has tackled some of the disturbing details of Oprah's South African school, finding a balance between bringing significant topics to light and keeping the tone fun. He made a joke about how Oprah had flown in on her private jet to spend $50 million and outfit the school with state-of-the-art buildings, computers, and equipment, making it the most costly institution in Africa, though not everything was up to pace, especially in terms of personnel. It felt like a dream come true given the school's history of controversies in which kids were subjected to harsh disciplinary measures for small violations. Noah suggested that Oprah may not have been the ideal person to assess character when recruiting Mavis. Did you do badly on your schoolwork? If so, there will be repercussions. He joked that since Oprah's name was linked to the organization, everyone seemed to be held to a higher standard, and that these occurrences were happening much too often. The alarming disclosures concerning the school have stunned the public and sparked major worries about the unchecked control Oprah and her colleagues have throughout the business, despite the fact that there is no evidence to back the persistent conspiracy theories about some children going missing. Unquote. Nonetheless, alarming news such as the latest accusations and the finding of a baby among a student's possessions have sparked curiosity and made many people uncomfortable with the environment at Oprah's school. In the midst of the scandal, this incarceration has given others the confidence to criticize prominent figures like Oprah. As the once untouchable cocoon around such individuals starts to crumble, a rising number of people believe that even Oprah's level of influence may not be. As the discussion went on, Noah bemoaned the dir of coverage of such significant topics and inquired as to why so many of the school's females seem to have vanished. Without warning, the African girls who graduated from your all-girl institution are nowhere to be seen. This brings the video to a close. I appreciate you watching, and I'll see you at the next one, because the predicament of the girls from Oprah School should not be forgotten. Noah encouraged everyone to take part and provide information. He also emphasized how important it is to raise awareness of these problems via ongoing debates.